We're here today with Carol as my new model, and I'm going to give her a fabulous short haircut. Carol's been growing her hair out, and she goes from growing it out to cutting it back off. And you know, after a while, you really know what looks best on you. Carol wears her hair short really well. And you can see the shape she's got now. It's just grown out. She's been cutting the bangs, and she's been cutting the back. So now we've got this heavy hair on the sides. We've got this little droopy thing back here. What I want to do is cut this off really close. Carol's got a great face, and she does have baby fine hair, but her hair is still really good, and I want to make her look modern. She's got good skin, she's a pretty lady, and I think she's got to have a cut to go with her personality. And two, right now, I just think it's neither short and it's not long. It's just kind of in between. So what I want to do to Carol is take this off of these sides. It's like an instant youth taking these sides off. But with this short, I still want to leave this top really long. I want to give her some length so it'll still feel like she'll have fullness and it won't feel like a pixie haircut. She'll still have softness and some length on it. And then it's a little more versatile when you have a little length on the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shampoo her, and when I come back, I'm going to start her haircut, and you'll get to see the step-by-step cut. We're back here with Carol. I've got her shampooed, and I've kind of combed her hair down in its natural fall. You can see she doesn't have any cowlicks. This hair in that front will go either way. But just kind of looking at the way that her hair grows is really important, because I want to cut it so it falls naturally and it doesn't give her a hard time. You don't want to force it into a shape that it doesn't want to do, you know, especially if you've got an ornery neckline or these cowlicks in the front. You got to work around them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to section off the area that I want to cut short, and it's always where the comb leaves the head. There is kind of a good measuring stick, because that tells you the flat of the head and then where their head rounds, and that's what I want to cut on, is this underneath hair. Now I'm going to go work my way right around, and I do the same thing in the back. When you lay that comb on the occipital, you see where that comb leaves the head. That tells you where the flat spot is and where the roundness starts. So that's where you don't want to go any higher. That's how I feel when you cut that hair. So I'm working my way right around to this side. Same thing on this side. Where does the comb leave the head is where that flat area is, and that's what does the best short. So the shape I'm going to do is I'm going to use the sharktooth razor, and I'm going to razor this off, still leaving the edges soft, nothing severe. And then I'll come to this top layer and work on that. But right now you're going to see me cut these sides with the sharktooth. And what's so ideal about this razor is one side takes more hair off, the deeper grooves to cut more. The shorter grooves take less. So you have control over how much hair you take and how much hair you don't take. You don't have to buy specific blades. You buy these in the drugstore. It takes like a double-edged blade that you buy for a men's razor, these old school razors. So that's nice when you don't have to order a specific razor blade for the tool. Now I'm going to just grab this hair right here. I'm going to converge it together, and I take it off with the razor. And when lifting that hair up and cutting, leave softness on the edges. The lower you hold it, the more blunt it is. So lifting that up right in front of the ear there and just taking that off with my sharktooth. Now when that hair comes down, you have softness there. I'm picking it up and cutting it just as if I were using shears, but I've got the razor instead. So you pick up and section and converge, which is a little different than with the shears, but it really gives you lots of freedom to be creative with this razor. You know, I've cut bobs with this. Really blunt bobs that look heavy on the ends. So it's all in how you use it. You can get lots of fringe with this, or you can give a nice heavier ends, having a blunt look on there. But you know, movement, you get more movement with the razor and layering, and it gives all these jagged, piecey edges that really soften the hair and give the hair movement. And when you look at magazines now, you see all this messy hair. Messy hair is very in. It looks tousled and soft. It can be very sexy. It doesn't have to have length or have long hair to look feminine. See, going around, I'm going to start on this side here. I've got to the middle of her head there. Now I'm going to go back to this side. We're going to take this in a little closer. And by taking this section right in front of the ear, I'm taking the whole piece, bringing that up, just like that. Bringing this up. I want y'all to see this. because then when you lift up and then take off with the razor, you get lots of soft edges. No blunt cuts. Same thing here, right over these ears. I'm taking all this hair off. This razor is ideal for hair extensions. It's ideal on curly hair. I think the difference is what I like to use it for is not only cutting the shape in there, you cut and texturize at the same time. You can easily go in and take out weight and a haircut that you've cut with the razor. But I just feel like you have all this creative freedom, and it's fun to actually cut the shape in there with the razor. So, and you see how easy it is to use. It really is fun to cut with. And I think it's really funny to see the client's expression. They love having something different. They really notice, and they will remind me on their next haircut, I want my haircut with that razor. They really like the texture and the pieciness and all of this nice jagged edges. It almost looks like it's just feathery and light on the ends. You have no heavy ends with this. Now you can see I've got that nice and close. Still having a little softness on these ends. And two, having that a little ragged around the ears makes it not look so freshly cut. You see so many of these celebrities, they set the trends with their short cuts, and so many of them look so undone, and I think that's what makes it look modern and new. You don't want anything set. Tousled hair is the best. Now, see, I've left the little ragged fringe there in front of the ear, and once I finish the cut, dry it, and then do a little flat iron, then I'll see what else it needs. It'll need a little tweaking. Now I'm taking the section on the top, and I'm pulling that down all the way around the head. And that's going to be lifted out and taken off. I don't want a weight line in there, but I do want to leave some length through this top. And that's the easiest way. Now I'm going to bring this down. You see the cut hair underneath? Ignore that, because we know this is going to come over it slightly. But what's so nice, you never have a blunt edge with this. You never see a scissor line or a scissor mark. And, I mean, you could have easily cut this with the razor, with the shear, and go back over it with the razor. It's not as much fun, and I like trying something different. I don't like cutting it the same way each time, and a lot of times the client doesn't like wearing it the same way each time. They want to change. And a lot of times short hair is harder to change when you've got it so short. You either have to grow it out a little bit to change the shape, but this is such an easy way to change the look of it by using this razor. There's nothing worse than having your hair look matronly or old-fashioned. It can age you, and Carol here has got this great face, and we're going to make her modern. You can see that weight line is just subtle. There's no weight line in there that is obvious. I'm still working right around. Here I am at the crown, bringing this down and taking this off. Working my way right around. This is going to give her all this length on the top with lots of movement, but the closeness on the sides and the neck are going to just give it a nice shape. Carol can actually run her hands through her hair and towel it dry. I'm going to hit it with the dry. I'm going to dry it and finish it so you can see what it looks like as it's drying, and then you'll see just how easy it will be. She won't need to curl it, or she could have some texture in here with a flat iron, give it a little bend, but straighter is better. What I really like about Carol's is after I've cut it, you'll see the color left on the ends is really kind of cool because it's just on the edges. It's really going to play up the haircut in that way where it'll really just be showing in this front, because this back I'm going to cut a lot of it off. And I kind of like that grown out look on those ends, like summer blonde, like she's been at the beach. Now I'm still bringing this down, and you see my shortness underneath. I'm just ignoring that, because what's going to happen, this is going to come down over it, and when you dry it, you'll see you won't have that bulky underneath. After taking that off really close underneath, this is going to come down and kind of hug the head in the right way. She won't have heavy hair. Sometimes you see in the cuts where it gets bulky here and flat there, and that's not attractive. What we want on Carol is the opposite. I want it closer here and fuller on the top. So that's taking out some of this weight through these sides where that hair was just really long after taking the underneath off. Now I'm working my way through. On this back, you can see the colors coming off, and you can see even the round of Carol's head is prominent. She's got a nice shaped head. So you don't want this bulky here either. If I leave that weighty there, that'll look even too round right there, too heavy. So going in, and I can almost, when I converge that hair together, you can feel the thick spot. It's really, you see where to take that hair off because it's hanging over my previously cut underneath. So now, coming to the end here, Carol had shorter bangs that had been growing. So I want to make the bangs look longer, but not where they're in her eyes. But I do want to give them some length by cutting everything else off here and not having this heavy sides. I'm working right here too, still working around, holding this down low, taking it off, because this is defining the outer area. I'm still going to go through this top and take some off this crown. And once I shorten the crown, the bangs will look longer. Still going right around there. I've made my way to the side. I see a little spot there. It's almost like you can feel it and see that little thick spot where it needs it. Now, Carol's hair will really go on either side. I don't want to cut it where she can have it on either side. So I'm going to go from the middle. That way, you'll have hair that can brush from side to side. I'm going right here in the crown. Right here in the crown is where I want to make it the shorter spot here. So this will make your guide right here for the crown. There goes that little bit of color there. Converge that again, take that a little shorter. So now, that is where everything will be brought back to this point. That way she's shorter in the crown and longer in the front. It's really going to make the front of her hair look longer. Just going right under that, bringing that off. You see just a tad bit comes off of there, not much. Because once I brought everything down and took it off low, you can almost see where it needs it off once you lift it up. And there's a little corner there. Take that off. This will keep this from looking heavy in her occipital here where it's the thickest. Now, see, I'm just going back around, grabbing my guide in the crown. There was my shortest piece in the crown. Converge. I'm actually bringing the hair from back here up to that, so it's leaving some length and some little fullness there. Same thing right here. Let's turn her back this way. Already you see Carol's got these great eyes. Such nice big eyes, and that's one thing about short hair. You see every flaw, or you really notice your eyes, the lips, everything stands out. You have to have good features to wear short hair because, like I said, everything shows. And Carol, you've got it. You've got these great eyes, and that's what's going to really pop when you see your hair short.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, it just really, you got the great look for short hair. See, I'm still bringing all this hair back. This actually is part of the very top of her head will come back, and I'm taking some of that off. She had some old color on there that felt a little dry. Once I pull all of this back, it's not going to reach, but we're going to check it anyway. No, just a little smidgen right there on the top, not much. But going from the middle like that, it really leaves it length where you want it at, and that hair can be brushed from either side. You're lucky your hair can go on either side. Now, let's see here, still doing a little bit more tweaking already. I see this is looking better in the front. The bangs are looking a little blunt. You can also, what's nice is to pick up and almost take it, converge it and bring it forward, because I don't want to make the bangs shorter, but I want to kind of break them up. So I'm going on the top of that to break it up so you didn't see that solid line. So it's not touching the underneath, it's just touching the top. Right here, I like it when it looks slightly asymmetric, just slightly, because I don't like it to look so perfect. You know, you don't want it so symmetric, then it's not as interesting. It almost looks a little more flattering. It can be very flattering on a square or a round face. Ideally, as asymmetric is probably the most flattering. You actually have more of an oval, Carol, which is really an ideal shape that really you try to create with hair, is the oval, because that shape can wear really any shape. Oval is what is nice, but you've got baby fine hair that really makes it look thicker having it shorter. Now you see all these nice little ragged edges. It doesn't look like such a perfect haircut. Now, working my way back here. Already you can see the little shape on her is going to be better. She's got this little tiny neck and such nice features. I'm going to make her 10 years younger. Now, let's see here. What else do I need to cut? I'm checking. I'm just really looking and checking. And almost you kind of feel it when you put your hands in it where you got a heavy spot. And a lot of times you can't tell when it's wet. You got to dry it and do a little more tweaking. So I always say allow for that hair to shrink and allow to cut and do a little more tweaking. There's nothing worse than saying, oh wow, I wish it was a little longer. Yeah, I cut it too short. That's not good. Right in here on the neck, you see she's got some little baby hairs that really are almost blonde. I want to take them off with the scissors. I just can't get it off with the razor. What I'm going to do next now is dry Carol. Actually, I want to put a little bit of sculpting lotion in her hair. It's our product that gives the hair body, and it's just really light. It's great on baby fine hair. See, just breaking that up a little bit more is better too, because you don't want to see any, I don't like to see any straight lines. When you see a solid line on a neckline, it just looks masculine. You want it to look feminine and soft. Just taking that off a little bit more. Even that little ragged edge is good. Cutting into it is always good too. Your head's feeling lighter, Carol? Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Now let's see here. A few more things. I still am wanting to cut some hair around your ears. Now that it's starting to dry a little bit, you've got a little texture in it, which is nice. A little bend to your hair. No frizzy hair. You have no really any wave in here at all, Carol, which is just that little kick is nice. Right there was a heavy spot that was making the bangs look shorter. I want to make the bangs look longer, so we're going to take that off. It's almost like the more you do this, it's really by feel and how you see the hair fall. And like I said, it's just fun to use. You really get to be creative with this. Now, we're almost looking a little bit like Jennifer Lawrence. Remember when she had her hair short? Now they cut it out and they grow it out. Cut it off and grow it out. Now, okay. All right, Carol. We're going to dry this before I cut any more. Let's check it out here. Still rolling. That's been 16 minutes. Good. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted some sculpting lotion. I'm getting too excited. This is the lotion that's really light and liquidy, so it's not heavy. It gives it shine. It'll give it a little body without making it heavy or hard to comb through. All of our products are really gentle on the hair, and they're water soluble, so they don't build up or leave the hair dull. This makes the hair shiny. And most of our products have a sunscreen in them, so they do protect the hair, which is a good thing. You beat it up with your heat. Now, I'm just going to use my hands. I mean, I'm not going to use the brush on Carol's hair. If I put a round brush in her hair, it's going to round the ends, and that's going to make it look old. We want it piecey and edgy and jagged. And right here. Let's see the shape of it. This is a nice shape on your little head. And actually, you see the color almost looks like it stands out, Carol, in a good way. Because now it's just really you see it through the front. And balayage is what it's like, because it's just sun-kissed ends on the top layer, and the roots, you have good roots. Now we look edgy, Carol. This is going to suit your personality. And see, once I dry it, there's still a little tweaking I want to do. I'll come through it, move this hair around, see what it needs. Do a little bit, I said no brush, but this is where I'm going to smooth that just a tad bit without putting any curl Dry. I did use the brush a little bit, just because we had some little fuzzy ends there. Here we have to smooth that a little bit, but look how easy your hair dried. Now I still see a little bluntness in the bangs, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. And it's going to be with my texturizers here. Such a cute shape on you. So nice. But these scissors are great. Look at these shears. These take little chunks out, but they're far apart. These are ours. You would be dangerous with these, Carol. I'd never see you again. You'd be cutting on your hair with this. But see, even with that, what it did, it made those bangs look longer. But what I'm going to do, see, I did a little razoring on here, but it wasn't enough. I'm going to go back in with these little thicker shears and take a little more chunky spot out of those bangs, because we want them wispy. You can see what that's making that nice and jagged there. But now we've got softness and we've got movement, and it's feminine and easy. We go back in here just a little bit more, almost, because it's this, when you lift this hair out, this is not so blunt. It's this top layer. Go back in on this angle there and take that out, because that's what's falling down, making that blunt. Oh, better, better, better. Yes, and now we've got some heavy, longer, fringy bangs. And even when you look at the side view here, we've got the edges a little ragged. I'm going to go back, oh, you can't see this. I'm going to go back here just where I had razored this. I'm going to take a little bit more off. But what's nice is when you leave a little length around the edges, like I said, it's not severe, but it's versatile. She can tuck this hair in, which would really look cute because it would be look a little shorter, make it a little more dramatic. But I tell you, that's what's nice about with this length. It can have a shorter look or have some length on it, some volume. I even have enough length on, Carol. You could put like a little wave or a bend in these ends and have it a little tousled and see some texture in it. But this is going to be the easiest way. See, going right in here and taking a little bit more right over the ear there where it wanted to be a little too thick. These 7-tooth notchers are ideal for taking little chunks out in the right spot. I've already cut the shape in here, so I'm just tweaking the shape by making this a little more defined where I want this hair a little closer at, where I want a little more body at, taking a little bit more off of her little edges that are just a little too ragged there. That's better there. Now, what else? What else? You just got to look at it as you cut it. Look, your color looks so good. Even the neckline is better. I see a few little spots I want to tweak even here. This is the only way really that I like to work. It's like you cut the shape in there, then you check it out by, when you dry it, you see the movement in it. You see the edges where you want a little more hair off. It's just really the best way to really fit the haircut to the client. And I do this every time I cut her hair. It's like you really have to just check it out well. Move that hair around and see what it wants to do. I haven't even flat ironed it yet, Carol. And the flat iron is what really will make it a little bit more dramatic. Let me show you here what I'm going to do next. Taking a little bit more out of the crown because I want those bangs to look longer. A little bit more there. Now, her hair is baby fine, but she has a lot of it. I mean, it just looks so much thicker with it shorter. Wow, cool. Let's do a little bit of flat ironing here. Still doing good on time. Now I'm taking a little bit of spray. I'm going to spray a little bit of our finishing spray in here. And the finishing spray is a fast drying spray. It's our spray and play. And we named it that because we like to spray and then play with it. Put your hands in it, move it around, and really make the hair tousle. Our spray and play is a fast drying finishing spray, so it doesn't build up or weight the hair down. Like I said, you spray and you play. So it is a great working spray. You can layer it. You can put other mousse or gel in the hair, and then you can spray the whole bottle on your head, and it would never make your hair limp or heavy or dry. I put a little spray on there just to kind of starch my sections here. I want a little more firmness and a little more definition when using the flat iron, so the spray does help. And I do have a little bit of the sculpting lotion in there, so that makes it a little firmer. And what this is going to do is it makes it piecier. Piecey is good, Carol.
I like
piecey is good. Piecey is separated and tousled, and that's when you really see the razoring in there. Because when those ends are straight, you see those ragged edges. And your hair is straight. I mean, your hair doesn't have any curl in it, but what it does is it gives it oomph. It'll keep this hair up here longer. It plumps it up. Just gives it more body.
Mm-hmm.
It's like starching a shirt. Put it at the roots, put that spray at the roots and flat iron those roots, and it gives it, lifts it up. Then we got lighter layers. Don't have the weight on them. Now, let's take this thing off, and let's see what all we have on you. We can take this off too. You've got a pretty top on. And let's take this off. But already, look at the difference in Carol's hair. Her face just is perkier, younger, thinner, taller. All of the above. I'm going to put a little bit of Max Wax on Carol's hair. And if you're not piecey enough, you got to have this. Because the Max Wax defines and separates. It's like it's a wax, and it's light. It's not heavy. I tell people to put it on a film of it on their hands and then blot it on the hair. If you try to put it at the roots, you're going to have oily hair. It's heavy. It's a wax. And on fine hair, you want it more on the ends, because that's where you want to play up those ragged ends, is on the edges, not at the roots. Now, if you had really coarse, dry, unruly hair, it would be great on the roots. But that's not you. That is looking good. Let's twirl Carol around again here. Carol, you got a great profile. I can't get over the difference in how your color looks. Your color really looks like I put it in there today. Yeah. I'll take credit for it. But now you can see we just have a soft, short haircut that's got lots of volume and it's got messy hair in it. And Carol just made a great makeover today for me. And
it's great.
I enjoyed cutting your hair.
Thank you. And I enjoyed it too. Thank you.
Good. And thanks for watching, everybody. You'll have to come back and tune in again.